Millions of years ago, long before humanity looked at the stars, an advanced civilization ruled vast regions of the galaxy. They built impossible structures, mastered technologies we still cannot understand, and then they vanished. Not over centuries, not after a war, overnight. But recently, Tommy T07 discovered something hidden beneath the sands of a forgotten world. An ancient monument, covered in symbols no modern species could translate. What was written on it may be the last message this civilization ever left behind. And if the message is real, they didn't disappear. They were running from something. Long before humanity existed, this civilization ruled entire star systems. Their cities stretched across worlds. Their technology was centuries ahead of anything known today. To the rest of the galaxy, they seemed unstoppable. But then, something changed. Strange signals began appearing across their worlds. Signals that no one could explain. Signals that seemed to come from beyond known space. At first, they believed it was a natural phenomenon, a rare cosmic event. But as their scientists studied the signal, they discovered something impossible. The signal was not random. It was a message. For months, their greatest scientists worked to decode the signal. Billions of calculations were performed. Entire research worlds focused on a single question: who sent it? Then, the signal was finally translated, and the first words they read changed everything. The translation was short, only a few words. No explanation, no coordinates, no signature, just a warning. A warning sent across the stars. A warning meant for anyone who might find it. The first words appeared on the screen, and silence filled the room. The message read, "Do not open the gate." No one understood what it meant, but everyone understood one thing. The message was not asking, it was begging. The warning raised more questions than answers. What gate? Where was it located? And who was trying to keep it closed? Scientists searched through ancient records, forgotten archives, lost star maps. For years, they found nothing, until one discovery changed everything. The same symbol from the signal appeared on an ancient monument older than their civilization itself. At first, the monument appeared to be nothing more than a warning, but the deeper they studied its symbols, the more impossible it became. The carvings were not random. They were coordinates, ancient coordinates, encoded within the monument itself. When the symbols were aligned with the signal, a hidden star map emerged, and it pointed to a location beyond known space. The coordinates were real, a location hidden beyond every known star map. But the greatest discovery came later. Deep inside the archives, scientists uncovered forgotten expedition records. Records sealed for millions of years. According to the files, the civilization had already traveled to the destination. They found the gate, and they opened it. Against every warning, the expedition activated the gate. At first, which nothing happened. The structure remained silent, motionless, ancient. Then, the darkness inside the ring began to move. Not like energy, not like light. Something else, something alive. Then, the expedition received a transmission. Not from their ships, not from the gate, from the darkness itself. The signal contained no images, no language, no recognizable data, only a repeating pattern, a pattern that appeared across every screen, and every mind that saw it described the same feeling. Something was looking back. At first, the pattern seemed harmless. No one reported any physical symptoms, no damage was found, no system failures were detected. Then, one of the researchers disappeared, not died, not evacuated, disappeared. Security footage showed him entering an observation chamber, but he never came out. The investigation lasted for weeks. Every second of the recording was analyzed. Nothing unusual appeared, until one technician noticed something: a single corrupted frame, one frame hidden between thousands of normal images. The footage was restored, and for the first time, they saw what the researcher had been looking at. He wasn't alone. At first, everyone focused on the figure, its shape, its size, its impossible appearance. But one analyst noticed something far more disturbing. The entity wasn't looking at the researcher. It wasn't looking at the room. It wasn't looking at the gate. It was looking directly into the camera, as if it knew it was being watched. The discovery was classified immediately. Only a small group of analysts were allowed to view the footage. But within days, something strange began happening. People who watched the recording reported the same dreams, the same symbols, the same dark figure, standing at the end of a long corridor, watching them, waiting. And every night, it appeared a little closer. The dreams became impossible to ignore. Analysts from different worlds reported the same experience, the same corridor, the same figure, the same feeling of being watched. Then something even stranger happened. One morning, a senior researcher arrived at work carrying pages of handwritten notes. Every page contained the same symbol. Was entered into every known historical database. Researchers expected no matches. Instead, they found thousands. The symbol appeared on ruined worlds, ancient monuments, forgotten artifacts, even on planets where no intelligent life remained. The oldest record shocked everyone. The symbol existed millions of years before the gate was ever discovered. Researchers expanded the search. They began studying every civilization connected to the symbol. At first, the world seemed completely unrelated. Different species, different technologies, different eras. But eventually, a terrifying pattern emerged. Every civilization carrying the symbol ended the same way. Not through war, not through disease, not through disaster. They simply disappeared. Researchers began reviewing the final records of the lost civilizations. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Most archives were incomplete. Many had been damaged by time. But a few final transmissions survived. Ancient recordings, emergency broadcasts, last journal entries, and hidden among them, they found the same message, again and again and again. For days, researchers worked to reconstruct the message. Language models, historical archives, quantum translation systems, everything was used. Finally, the message became clear. It wasn't a greeting. It wasn't a distress call. It wasn't a request for help. It was a warning. A warning repeated by every civilization before it vanished. The message contained only 4 words: do not let it in. The warning changed everything. Researchers returned to the oldest records. This time, they weren't searching for what happened after the signal. They were searching for what happened before it. The answer was hidden in every archive. Every civilization had received the signal. Every civilization had decoded it. Every civilization had discovered the gate. And every civilization made the same decision. They opened it, willingly. The warning was never meant for the civilizations that vanished. They already knew. The warning was meant for whoever came next. For millions of years, the message traveled from one civilization to another, waiting, hoping that someone would finally listen. Then, an alarm sounded inside the research facility. The gate was active again. Researchers rushed to the monitoring systems. The energy readings were rising. Something was happening. And for the first time in centuries, a signal came back through the gate. The transmission contained only one line: we are already inside.